She is beauty, she is grace. She cannot hold this to save face.
It's morphin' time!
Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to my review of the SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Nago beat form from Kamen Rider Geats. Like the other Geats writers that aren't Geats himself, she was a P-Bandai exclusive, but was luckily distributed through P-Bandai US, which means she was a little bit easier to get. Nago is, of course, our first female writer for Geats, so she is on a new body, which of course we will talk about. There also is this sticker, the Bandai Namco collectible sticker, which apparently couldn't fit this way, so they just slapped it this way, so we lose a bit of her knees. But you can see this is our first time getting beat form. Now this beat form armor won't swap onto Geats and the other guys, but Punk Jack will be coming with a beat form armor that will be able to do that, so we're not too lost there. Also, of recent Figuarts trends, the instruction sheet is on the inside flaps of the box instead of being a separate piece. But of course, we got all these accessories to look at, all of the posing to do, and kind of to see maybe if they might do future form swaps for characters like Nago, if the figure is structured correctly. All right, here she is, Kurama Neon herself, Kamen Rider Nago. You can see that she is decked out with paint here, and like basically nothing down here. You know, it's kind of the thing with the Geats writers, they each have a buckle that they vibe with or whatever, and then their legs are kind of the entry form legs. But with her, unlike Buffa, who had the skirt, and with Tycoon with the armband or the leg band, she just has normal blank legs. Also, you might notice this bit of a wobble here. We'll talk about that, but it does not want to hold. You know, it didn't even hold like that out of the box. She got a bit of a wobble thing going on. We'll discuss that, but let's look at first her head. This is our first time getting a Nago head, which has got this beautifully intricate gold paint detail. She's got the headphones as part of the design in addition to the cat ears, which I think is really cool. And then you get kind of into the beat form. What's always interesting is the fact that beat form is Nago's dedicated buckle, but yet it doesn't match her color scheme. Like, it's not gold and black, kind of like how Buffa's Zombie was purple, Geats Magnum is white, Tycoon Ninja is green. She doesn't go for black and gold, but there's a lot of gold accents on the beat buckle here and here and here and here. Ignore the gold armbands because that's kind of Nago's unique feature. But it's really cool to see, they got some of those elements. But she actually has kind of the most interesting color palette because of that, which I think is really, really cool. With Nago being kind of a TikTok influencer kind of girl, it does fit the music theme for her as well. We can also see the beat buckle on the driver here. Looks very detailed. There's no moving feature on this, like the little speaker thing. It's just a speaker. You can't like push the buttons down. It's one solid chunk, but then if you pull it off, you can see her ID core is sculpted in there, which is pretty cool. Do like all the details they added. There's a lot of the intricate paint details with like the audio graphs here on the chest and on the arms. And then in general, they just did a really nice job making her look pretty spectacular, I think. Overall, looks really, really good. Now let's talk about articulation, because of course she is a brand new body mold. So the head does have the standard range of movement where it kind of wobbles around. It's got adjustment at the top and the bottom of the neck. Shoulders move out, shoulders at 360. The shoulder pad does have a little bit of movement. She's got a bicep swivel here, just a straight cut. It does sort of, it feels weird because Figuarts don't usually do the straight cuts, but they could hide it with the armband. She's got a double joint elbow, works pretty good. She's got wrists that pivot all around. Nothing seems to happen here. This is just molded straight to the arm, so yeah, I don't think we're getting swapping parts there. But she does have a waist swivel, a upper ball joint, and a lower ball joint to kind of adjust the torso. Hips move out about that far. They move forward about that far. They go back pretty good. A nice thigh cut swivel here, and then a double joint knee, plus a forward and back left ankle and a toe. So it moves, the ankles move inward, but not outward, and that's totally fine. So yeah, I mean, she looks pretty good overall. I think the articulation also works out. It doesn't feel like anything is impeded. But of course, we need some accessories to go with all that articulation. So right out of the box, she comes packaged with these relaxed hands that have a bit of a point to them, which are pretty cool for different kinds of poses. She also comes with a pair of fists for throwing hands. It's always funny, Figuarts always kind of include fists with characters, yet I find I don't use them that often. She's also got these flatter relaxed hands that look always a little bit awkward. All of the Geats guys also come with these. they're kind of strangely flat, like they're not natural. And then she has these open flat palm waving hands, which I think are really cool and fit her character personality really well. Lots of great options with that. And then her last two hands is clearly meant to hold something, which she doesn't come with at all. No, just kidding. She's not a retail Ultraman figure. She comes with her weapon. So here is the Beat Axe, which is a guitar-like weapon that works pretty good. The thing is that you got to be very careful of how you grip it in one hand, because while she's supporting it here, it doesn't hold very well. This is the unfortunate part with Bandai's method. They used to do this where they would have specific hands for specific situations. Less so nowadays. They wanted to give you a hand where she could grip it like she's holding an axe, right? If you want to have her grip it like she's playing guitar, it's the same hand, which means it doesn't have enough grip, and then you also can launch the buckle. So the problem I have here is that, you want her to have her playing the guitar because it's part of the, attacks, right? And the box and the promo images show it, but actually getting her to hold it is a whole other experience because you have to get it specifically lined up between 2 points in this hand. Make sure it's flat against where the buckle is so you don't knock the buckle off. Then get the other hand around, and there goes the buckle again. So I think you can start to understand why I'm not really digging this. Let's get a wider view here. So, part of the fun of guitar playing, guitar weapons is that you can have them look like they're playing guitar. And so if you get this lined up, I did it right for the shot, but that took me like 10 minutes, and here I am trying again. Am I missing something? People who may have this figure, am I totally screwing it up, or is this just how it is? Because this sucks. I hope Punk Jack has some better hands to hold the same exact accessory. There we go. We got something going on there. Now she's like kind of in bass playing mode. The problem is that it doesn't feel secure unless you have it awkward. Like you can't get her, like she needed a hand set for, also because they're just having you use one of the relaxed hands to have her play it. She needed a hand set for playing it, and she needed a hand set for holding it, not the same hands for both. It doesn't work that way. In fact, I asked the question, if we have these open hands, why do we also have these? Could we have ditched these and gotten another set of hands that actually hold this thing in a guitar playing pose? Pretty much any other action figure, if you want a figure to hold a guitar, you got to have some kind of grip on it. They can't grip it from the other side. It's got to be from the neck. Now, see, doing any poses like this is fine until you go to move it, in which it falls out again. Bandai, if you're going to be continuing to make these characters P-Bandai, if they're going to continue to cost as much as they are, I'd like them to hold their weapons. It was kind of the same problem I had with Kamen Rider Jean here. The actual hands to hold her fans were kind of ridiculous. Like, they don't, you have to kind of like squeeze them in, and then once you squeeze them in, they still fall out half the time. Here's the thing. They can get the guys to hold weapons no problem. Like, I don't have any problem typically with the male Kamen Riders holding their weapons. Why is it that the female Kamen Riders, they can't get it right? The way this hand is designed is pretty stupid. The way this hand is designed is pretty stupid. It's too wide of a grip, and it's so soft that once you get it too wide, it's not going to support the weight of this weapon. So while it holds for a bit, if you're playing around with it or posing it, it's just more frustration than it's worth. The Beat Axe itself is a nice looking piece. It's pretty static, like nothing moves on it like some of the other weapons. And you can peg it onto her belt here, which is pretty cool. And hers actually moves, so you can just kind of have it like strapped to her waist. But, that's more secure than anything of her holding it, even if you use two hands. So a common thing she would do in the show is wield it with two hands, swing it like an axe. And when you get it lined up, it works. But I knocked the buckle off 4 times. I dropped it about 3 times just to try to get it like this. And as soon as I, if I want to move, it's pretty secure. But then, as soon as it pops loose from one of the hands here, as soon as you got that, it's going to hold only a little bit. This is, the other Geats Figuarts have been pretty solid overall. The biggest problem with her is that her figure-wise, she's great. Weapon-wise, it's good. The weapon's just a little bit too heavy, and her hands are not near the grip they need to be. And again, they needed to have a second set if you want her actually playing it, because having the same hands to grip it and play it doesn't work, especially because once she grips it, it widens it too much up to play it. And even when I tried to put in the playing pose first, out of the box, same issue. That's why I try to tend to do figure art reviews out of the box as soon as I get them. I don't want to mess around with them too much because I want to see how is it when you get it first fresh. Because figure arts, you know, and just like any other action figure, stuff tends to loosen up. But like, yeah, you got to have her kind of balancing it because otherwise, it's, I mean, look at that. Now it's, you know, with her wrist the way it is, it's now too heavy to hold it up on the wrist. So if you want her like swinging it wide, there it goes. This is too heavy. These hands aren't tight enough in a lot of poses. And in general, it just kind of feels like a floppy mess when it comes to holding her one and only weapon, because she doesn't come in anything else or any other forms. And that kind of sucks because it should be a lot better than this. So in the section I'd normally show form swapping, we don't have anything to show. Because she is a different molding, see height-wise close to Geats, but she is thinner in a lot of places, like the waist. So if we were to try to like put the boost legs on her, we can pop Geats' legs off. She actually does separate in the middle, like all the others do, same connection, style, and everything. But you may notice that the actual clip is a little bit differently sized. So if you try to put the boost legs on, it doesn't quite fit. It's just, it's a little too wide there. It just doesn't want to go on. What's interesting is that she does still have the removable back plate, but there's no slot to put a scarf in. She has a removable faceplate, even though we currently don't have any other faceplates for her, but it is specifically Nago with the head because it's got the cutout for the headphones. And then you can actually remove the mouth plate. So maybe we'll see future ones. I know they teased doing like, you know, alternate heads and stuff for the riders, and that included like Lopo or Habuki. So maybe we'll see more female riders and they'll be able to part swap with Nago. But at the moment, you really can't do anything, even though everything's there. But because she does have that waist, she does have that wobble to her. Yeah, Geats doesn't move that much, but she's just... It's kind of that bummer thing that keeps happening with Figuarts, where like female riders or female ultras don't seem to have the same quality as the male counterparts, and there's absolutely no reason for that. So as you can see, Nago does look good with her fellow DGP riders. It does look nice together with all four. I really, really do like the way they look together. The scale looks good and everything. I like it. I like the set a lot. Can't wait to add Punk Jack to kind of round out the little team here. I will give credit to Nago. While I've been ragging on her like lack of being able to hold accessories here and like the wobble waist, she is like by far the most stable out of all of these. Because if you notice, yeah, there went Buffa. The feet on the guys are always a little bit more rounded than they should be. So like they're wobbling and she's standing still. So I got to give them credit on that front that at least like she's the most stable, and they did redesign the feet, because the feet on all three of the Geats guys I got, it's like a little too round on the bottom, so it makes them a little bit unstable. But she is the most stable out of all of them, which is pretty good, just as long as you can get the weapon in a pose where it doesn't fall out of her hand. Here she is with the other Reiwa rider ladies. Pretend I have Sabella and Aguilera. But yeah, she's, you know, kind of scaled right. They look good together. I like how many female riders we've gotten in the Reiwa era. It's definitely an improvement over the Heisei era. So it's nice to see. And in general, I think that it's really cool that we continue to get figures of them. But with the exception of the 01 figures, I got to say that like Jean isn't as solid as the main rider, and Nago isn't as solid as the main rider. These two are on point. It's one of those weird things. But in general, it's nice to have Nago join the lineup here. And hopefully we see more of the Geats female riders like Lopo and Habuki and the others. That'd be really cool. So Kamen Rider Nago, I think, is overall a good figure, though this axe situation with the hands just kind of drags her down a lot, because I find myself having limited posing options for her with the weapon because of the balance issue. You know, I don't want to leave it where she's holding it in guitar pose, because first of all, it takes forever, and second of all, it's going to fall. So it's kind of a frustrating figure to kind of work with in that sense, but overall, she's good. I will say that her current aftermarket price, which is just insanely high, just isn't worth it, because she isn't like well-rounded good. She's just good, but you know, has some downsides. But she is an essential character for the Geats lineup, so take that as you will. But that does it for this review. I will be reviewing SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Punk Jack in January, but I'm not picking up any of the Geats Figuarts at the moment. I've kind of sort of, you know, as the show's ended, I'm like, you know what, I'm kind of good with the main five. And I know I consider Punk Jack the fifth main character, but that's my problem, not yours. And stay tuned for other videos on the channel by hitting subscribe and the notification bell. Hit the like button to let you know that you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below and tell me if you got any tips or tricks on how to pose this axe thing, because I'd like to do it a lot better than the way I've been doing it. That's all the ways I could figure out for this video. Also, be sure to check out the Discord server in the link below to come join our community. My live streams Mondays, 5 p.m. Eastern, here on this YouTube channel, and you can find me on social media at Soundout12 if you like. My awesome graphic designer is on the Discord server and on social media at DarkClaw643, and you can find Hero Club at hero-club.com for tokusatsu news, interviews, and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.